Welcome back to Living Local. A month after she premiered her new home movie about Alito, Christina Shaver was back in Mercer County to tackle another topic close to her heart. And here to tell us all about it is the one, the only, Bettendorf's golden boy, Jonathan Turner.
Wow, thanks a lot.
Well,
hello, sir.
I didn't know you lived in Bettendorf until
Well, the
recently.
truth is out, I know.
And that makes you even more the George Clooney.
That's right, it's a mansion on the hill, pretty much.
Yeah. So, this is fascinating to me because I had not heard of this artist. But so Christina Shaver is a Chicago filmmaker, born in Alito, right? Raised in Alito.
Right.
And she was in Alito last week to research and shoot for a new documentary that's based on an artist, Gertrude Abercrombie. Yeah,
right?
I'm super curious. So talk to us.
So I never heard of this artist. She was super cool. I mean, like a lot of artists, she really struggled and was poor during her lifetime. But she had a real unique style, and the art professor she interviewed called it, she was sometimes called the surrealist, magic realism, but just really unique. And she, after her death, she really kind of skyrocketed to fame. Christina had wanted to do another film regarding Alito. This artist had grown up some of her childhood, just a couple years, she lived in Alito. Her family was from Alito. Christina's family is from Alito.
Right.
And it's just a natural, and it's just an interesting subject.
Yeah, and this she died in 1977.
Right.
She did, and it wasn't until after her death that her fame kind of took off. Is that how I understand the story?
So her family was from Alito. She moved with her family in 1916 to Chicago. She lived the rest of her life in Chicago. She went to the University of Illinois. She studied at the Art Institute of Chicago. She's won some awards at Art Institute of Chicago. She lived in Hyde Park, which is a great neighborhood actually my wife grew up in, which is where the University of Chicago is.
Okay.
But she got to know a lot of jazz musicians. After her death, it was not until 2018 she had a really big exhibit of about 70 paintings in New York City in the West Village.
Oh, wow.
The New York Times wrote this really glowing review. She got a lot of attention, and during her life she couldn't sell paintings for $50. Right. After her death, they were selling for like $400,000.
So I got to wonder with stuff like that, where were those paintings in the interim? Like, were they just in somebody's attic somewhere, or did the family hold on to them?
Well, I mean, a number of the paintings are actually at the Mercer County Historical Society.
Okay.
They have about 5 paintings, and they're at the Art Institute. I mean, the Art Institute of Chicago has a number of the paintings. I'm sure they're in Chicago, other private collections.
Right.
So Christina, part of her project, she actually got a $20,000 grant from this.
Right.
Lucer Flake Charitable Foundation for Mercer County, and so that enabled her to do a lot of filming in Alito, bring this art professor from Chicago here, and they're actually in November she's going to bring high school students from Mercer County to the Art Institute in Chicago to film, to watch the.
That's fantastic. And I want to circle back to something you mentioned because I'm kind of curious about this jazz musician connection.
I know, right?
This is fascinating.
I mean, Chicago, she lived in Chicago during the 30s and 40s, and she befriended a number of famous African-American musicians, Dizzy Gillespie, Sarah Vaughan, Sonny Rollins. She was really close to Dizzy Gillespie, and she would actually, a modern jazz quartet is a huge quartet, and they would stay at her house. And so she befriended them. There was obviously a lot of racism at the time, and so she actually had, there was a jazz pianist that wrote a song in her honor called Gertrude's Bounce, which I linked to in my story. But yeah, there was an NPR profile in 2021. This curator called her, she was a character for days. I'm surprised somebody hasn't made a biopic about her. So that's
that's amazing.
It's being made now.
So we were talking about Christina and her ties to Alito, and she just recently made a film called Alito.
Right. Well, it's
called.
It's nicknamed the Alito. It's like everything fun you could possibly do in Alito, Illinois.
Yes.
It had a private screening during Alternating Currents in Rock Island. That was August 19th. So they just announced they're going to have their world premiere in Los Angeles in October 14th. It's going to be the LA Indie Film Festival.
Is that a documentary?
And so that's a fictional.
Okay.
So they filmed it 2022, filmed in Alito.
Oh, okay.
So it's set in Alito. Susie Boggess is actually the narrator, the famous country star from Alito. It's about friends who went to high school in Alito. Alito reunite after 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a fictional story, but shot here. That, if you want to find out more about that movie, it's alitomovie.com, which is straightforward.
Well, hey, man, thanks for being here today.
Sure.
And chatting about this. I do want to chat with you more, so I will talk with you.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. You can check out Jonathan's stories and both of these in films when you visit the Arts and Culture page on ourquadcities.com. You can also email JT at jt@jturner@whbf.com.